difference. Even if the rain doesn't come during this race, you can see from some of those pictures down in the grid just how windy it is. I was walking the short walk across from the media centre to our commentary booth, and the wind has picked up massively. You have to imagine going up the hill towards turn 3 and then down towards turn 4. That will be buffeting these even these slightly heavier electric machines about from side to side. And well, I think it's a question of when, not if, the rain arrives. Maybe we can just about get away with one for this second Moto E race of the day. Let's wait and see what happens. It has cleared. When we were watching the MotoGP TISO sprint earlier, it was the Jochenrindt curve and the Cashback World Corner, turns 9 and 10 here at the Red Bull Ring. It was getting seriously dark over there. I'm glad to say that looks like it has lightened up a bit, but now turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, up that end of the track now, looks like where it's at its darkest, and it is very, very probable we're going to see rain. Before we go down, before we carry on with the weather forecast, El, who have you got for us on the grid?
I've got Lorenzo Baldassari, gents. Lorenzo, talk us through how you're feeling ahead of this one and what are the conditions like out there?
Yeah, for sure it's a change in the condition, there's a lot of wind, and let's give our best. This morning we demonstrated we had the speed to fight for podium or for win, just we missed something, and I hope improve these parts in the second race, and let's give some show.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Elliot. Thanks as well to Lorenzo Baldassari. Can he go better than 5th from race 1? He has not actually been outside the top 6 in any of his 5 Moto E contests so far this season. You have to say that is a very rapid development and adaptation to this category, Kiko, and maybe he could be in the fight. I mean, he was in the fight for the podium earlier. Maybe he could actually get onto the podium again in this encounter. He was on the podium back at Assen, of course. It's easy to forget just how long Lorenzo Baldassari's been around. He was on Moto 3 machinery, he has been in Moto 2 World Super Sport as well. This is Hector Garzo, he's at the head of the second row. Let's go back down to the grid, Elliot York.
Yeah, with Oscar Gutierrez. Oscar, great to see you back in that podium fight after your injury troubles. What are conditions like and how are you feeling ahead of this one?
Well, in this warm-up lap, I see the temperature went down a lot, so we need to take care a little bit, especially the first laps. It was a shame yesterday to make the Q1 because we always lose a little bit of power on the bike for Q2. But anyway, in the last laps I was feeling good. I recovered my confidence on the Moto E, and I'm happy with this. So we will try to stay calm on the first laps, don't make mistakes, and finish the race as front as possible.
Good luck, Oscar.
Thank you.
Oscar's back from injury, Neil. He has been impressive already today, up inside the podium battle. Checkered flag, P4, solid points scored, and a little bit of rain probably wouldn't be against his wishes, that's for sure. He would like it a little bit easier in the trickier conditions. Yeah, it was a good comeback from Oscar Gutierrez in race 1. 8th on the grid, up into 4th, and you have to imagine had he qualified in the first 2 rows, he would have been in the middle, maybe even ahead of the 2 riders that were ahead of him, Hector Garzo and Eric Renado, in that fight for 2nd place that we saw. Matteo Ferrari did manage to escape to the tune of 1 second in the first 2 laps of the race earlier after Mattia Casadei crashed out, and he was able to cruise home from there. You have to wonder though, with these windy conditions, Kiko, normally that packs the pack a little bit closer together, just because no one really wants to risk too much, and it could actually be slightly beneficial for some of the racing that we might see. We have already had plenty of surprises today, both shocks and surprises, I suppose you could say. Let's keep an eye on Tibor Eric Varga. Let's keep an eye on Alessandro Zacconi. We just caught a glimpse of him. Completes that second row, but went backwards earlier. Finished 7th, but only 1 place ahead of your championship leader, Andrea Mantovani. Mantovani is having to come through off the 4th row of the grid in 12th place. He managed to get up to 8th place earlier. Crucial that he finished ahead of Zacconi, but they all chase Matteo Ferrari once again. It was his first pole position in 2 years. It was his first victory this morning in 2 years. Matteo Ferrari is looking to double up here and make it a clean sweep. Can he do it? Can he convert that pole position for the second time of asking? It is him, and it is Casadei, who crashed earlier from the lead on lap 1. He's P2, Granado third, Garzo, Baldassari, Zacconi the second row, Torres Gutierrez and Tibor Eric Varga heroic 6th in the race earlier. He goes from 9th on the grid. Spinelli, Jacopo Hosjuk and Andrea Mantovani, your championship leader. That's the 4th row. Mantovani's going to come through again. Then it is Alessio Finello, who was knocking on the door of the top 10 earlier on. Maria Herrera not scoring a point earlier on today, so she'll be looking to try and convert it now here in race 2. Luca Bernardi down there in 15th place. Raffaele Fusco, Tommaso Occhi and Kevin Zanoni, who didn't set a valid lap time in qualifying yesterday. Just before we go green on this one, we're 2 minutes away. El, what's the weather doing down there?
Yeah, just getting more spots of rain down in Pitney. Nothing heavy, nothing's going to interrupt the race as of yet, but the rain is definitely coming. Heavy spots, gentle enough, not enough to, as I say, disrupt anything for now, but something to watch out for in the coming laps.
Oh, you keep yourself safe and sound, El. We can't be losing you. Neil up here alongside myself, Kiko in comms. Let's talk about this side on your screen. Mattia Casadei. Another mistake earlier and a second one in 3, crashing from the lead. That is not a statistic he would have hoped for coming into round 3 in 2025.
Yeah, he's certainly going to be taking it easy into turn 6 at the start of this race after what happened on lap 1 of race 1. Casadei, will he be able to pick himself up off the floor and bounce back with a victory challenge here? You have to imagine it will be between him and Ferrari as we prepare. Just 1 minute now until the race starts. Tire warmers being removed from all 18 of these Moto E machines, and everyone gets ready, gets prepped to go up to turn 1. Temperatures well down and wind up compared to race 1. How will that affect the racing?
Hopefully no wind up here in comms, Neil Morris said. I've got to ask for a prediction. Who's going to be?
I'm going to go with Casadei.
Oh, you've stolen the shot there, haven't you? You got the whole shot on me. I am going to go a double for Matteo Ferrari. I think that's where my money's heading. But Tibor Eric Varga outside for a top 5. That's going to be my bold prediction of the day.
Give us a name, El.
Granado.
Oh, he was ready there when he Eric Granado then gets the support of El. I don't think El said that earlier, didn't he? Well, what about it? Well, he confirms in our headset that Eric Granado was indeed his favourite earlier. Will he be able to convert that front row? Here now, we get the green lights out, and it is a brilliant start. Once again, Matteo Ferrari has got that number 11 Grassini Moto E machine absolutely hooked up wonderfully. Oh, dear me, that was Tibor Eric Varga muscling up the inside. I don't think he made any positions, but he definitely caused people to take evasive action. Down to the chicane, 2A and 2B for the first time. Everyone's safely through. So far, no, they're not. That's down and out. Is that Zanoni? It is Kevin Zanoni. A disaster then. He was, well, that's what you get when you get all the way back down there, and there's all bits of debris and other riders coming back in as well. So that's the kind of melee you risk putting yourself in when you are downfield, Neil. Well, you can't qualify on row 6, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that has disrupted Mantovani, the championship leader as well, who was qualifying in 12th, but he's now completely disconnected from this lead group. The light blue bike coming down into turn 4 just at the back of your screen, but Kevin's not a disastrous weekend. Didn't manage to set a lap time in qualifying yesterday and crashes out two turns into the race.
Turn 6, a hot spot from earlier on today and right the way through the weekend, so they'll be cautious and taking it pretty steadily, and they are all safely through as they start hooking back round. Casadei has latched right onto the back of Matteo Ferrari here, so we are going to have a big pass up the inside, I think, of the Jochenring corner. This is Zanoni, and we're going to get a replay of what happened, Neil.
Yeah, it looks as though he's just gone in a little too hot on the inside there, and yeah, tags the back. I think that's of Mantovani. It is indeed the championship leader. So Mantovani actually pretty fortunate to emerge from that incident okay and still up. He's going to get a bit of a shunt from behind. There it is, and he's forced to lift. And Mantovani, he has really lost a big amount of time, but back at the front, and Ferrari leads from Casadei. Yeah,
Casadei wasn't able to make the pass down in towards the final sector, so he's got another few corners to try and line it up. So Ferrari leads Casadei, Garzo third, Granado fourth. That's your breakaway group before at the back. Whoa! Zacconi bouncing into the inside there at turn 2. Thought he was going a bit wide, but he held it all together. So Zacconi is definitely feeling inspired in race 2. Varga already up to 6, so that's a brilliant start from Tibor Eric Varga. Balda, the number 7 of Lorenzo Baldassari, is in 7th. Gutierrez 8th, Spinelli, and Jordi Torres another bad start down to 10th.
Yeah, it was a poor start from Torres, dropping 3 positions. Tibor Eric Varga went in the opposite direction, and is Garzo challenging Casadei for a second. I thought he was going to have a look down into turn 4. He certainly had a look, but he didn't go for a move at one of the trickiest, if not the trickiest corner on the circuit. You would have to say Ferrari not quite having the same joy with his attempts to try and stretch away from the likes of Garzo and Granado in this second race. He is fully committed there into turn number 6.
And they come through. I think we have just had Fusco just drop down and place the back. Not sure if it was a crash. I paused because I thought I heard a bit of scraping in the background, but perhaps not. And I think they're all safely through. Ferrari it is then who leads Casadei up over the top of the hill. Turn 9, overtaking Hotspot. 3 abreast already on lap 2. That isn't going to work, and they all think a little bit better of it. Garzo's got the pace here down towards turn 10, but you can't win the race on lap 2. You've got to take your time. But then again, given how changeable the weather is, there is a sense of urgency to get to the front.
Yeah, you have to imagine Casadei is just trying to play it cool after going a bit too hard early on. Although maybe he is holding up Hector Garzo. Garzo is gaining in confidence by the lap in this race, and you have to think that he fancies his chances of winning this race too.
He would be on for his first win of the season as the number 1, the defending champion Hector Garzo. It's been an injury hit opening couple of rounds. He's had surgery during the break between Assen and here, and he is definitely looking like the rider who has got a little bit left in the locker, I've got to say, at this stage of the race. But we're only on lap 3. This one is going to tick on a little bit slowly given the weather conditions.
It's already looking like a lot more competitive outing than race 1 with Granado right there in the mix in 4. Zacconi not a million miles away either. And look at this from Garzo again. He has a look down into turn 4, thinks the better off it this time, but where was he super strong? On the last lap it was coming out of turn 8 and down into turn 9. Could we see a change of the lead just there?
I think we might do if he doesn't want to do it before, but you've got to be so careful here. There's a little bump just on the way into this turn 6. You've got to be very, very careful and committed if you want to make the pass. Oh, look at this. So he's having a look at 7 and 8 as well now. So it's all bunching up very, very nicely. I'll tell you what, whilst these 4 squabble, keep an eye on Alessandro Zacconi and Tibor Eric Varga, 5th and 6th at the moment. The live championship standing. Zacconi has got the magnets on because he wants to get into P1 in the title lead. And talking of the lead, this is the race lead. Changes to Garzo. Good move from Garzo that to get that stopped and done. Nailed to an apex, and that was precision at its best. Number 1, he's in P1. Hector Garzo leads his first lap in 2025, but for how much longer? Because I tell you what, Ferrari's having a bit of this. He won his first race for 2 years. Oh, where's Granado going? He's running out wide. I tell you, there's a couple of spots of rain on that camera as well there, so keep an eye on that. Garzo versus Ferrari down towards the chicane. That isn't going to work now. Casadei's trying to come through. Oh, he does. It's Italian on Italian through at turn 2A. Garzo's come out and all of that on top. Casadei forced his way through. Ferrari was first, now he's 3rd.
Yeah, this time 1 lap ago it was 4 riders at the front. Now we've got a freight train of about 8 going all the way back to Oscar Gutierrez in 8th position. Alessandro Zacconi, Tibor Eric Varga and Lorenzo Baldassari, the fastest name last time around, have all joined in the fun. Baldassari's fastest lap about 0.2 of a second of what they were doing in race 1, so the pace isn't overly slow.
It isn't slow at all, but I just hope that Hector Garzo, now he's got clear air in front of him, doesn't get carried away. Of course, there's a lot of pressure with that number 1 plate. He won't want to throw it down the road just yet. He needs solid points on the board. Garzo leads it into turn 6. He's slightly wide, but he let it run out wide. He didn't commit to the apex like Casadei did earlier and tuck the front. So Garzo leads for now. Then it's Casadei. Then it is Ferrari. Granado's 4th. Zacconi's with them. So is Varga, who's ahead of Baldassari, and Gutierrez just at the back of this group. It is a lead group of 8 as we drop down over the hill. Ferrari looking up the inside of Casadei, and nicely done. I think he slotted that through pretty neatly, holds position, and that's up to 2nd for your pole sitter.
Yeah, that's a brilliant move from Ferrari, responding to Casadei's challenge that he threw down with that aggressive move up into the turn 2 chicane. I see a change of the lead here going in towards turn 1 because Matteo Ferrari gets great drive out of the final turn, and there is a change. He outbreaks Garzo going into turn 1.
Oh, Garzo didn't want to yield. He's had some he's had to yield. He was forced out wide there. He's lost down from P1 down to P5 because Varga's come through as well. So what a change up we've had at the front here. Ferrari third to first in a matter of 3 corners, and that is why he was your race 1 winner. It's passed us by, 3 laps to go, 2.5 really by the time we come out of turn 3, and this is anybody's race 2 in Moto E.
Yeah, horrible lap for Alessandro Zacconi, who drops from 4th all the way down into 7th. Tibor Erik Varga has been the revelation of this 3rd round of the Moto E World Championship this year. He is on for an unlikely podium finish.
We were saying over lunch that perhaps if the weather was a bit inclement, he could be in with the podium battle. We were saying that maybe by the time we get to Hungary, the home crowd will be supporting Tibor Erik Varga. We might not have to wait until Balaton Park in a few days' time for that first podium for not just Varga, but for Hungary as a country in Moto E. This is fine, fine stuff from the number 47 on the yellow and black bike in 4th place. Slightly detached at the moment from P3 and Eric Granado, but we have still got a riot to get through here with just over 2 laps to go.
Yeah, you can see the buffeting that the camera's taken on the exit of turn 8 there from the wind, and that must be playing a factor there. You can see Andrea Mantovani doing his best to try and make his way back up the order as Varga is fully committed on the exit of turn number 9. There's a little bit of distance between himself and Eric Granado up ahead in 3rd, about 0.3 of a second, but Ferrari looking very, very comfortable out front. The 38.2, the fastest lap of this race so far.
A couple of tenths off what they were doing earlier on though, so there's still a bit of time left in this. Casadei got so close there to Ferrari, who leads this one on the penultimate lap. He's not within striking distance. Garzo is on Varga though, and this is down in towards turn 2. Varga sweeps across and just holds position for now. That 4th place belongs to the Hungarian. Garzo can't find a way through just yet, and now those 2 scrapping has just caused them to slightly get detached from the front 3 in the podium fight.
Yeah, Casadei, you have to say, is looking pretty comfortable, isn't he, in 2nd place. I think Kevin Zanoni reminded after that first lap crash. He's the rider who's just up ahead here, who's going to be getting the blue flags very, very soon, and being told to get out of the way as Matteo Ferrari gets it all crossed up going down into turn 4. He's well wide, and that means that he relinquishes the lead. Ferrari is demoted to 2nd.
Casadei doesn't need a second invitation, but it might not work out too badly in Ferrari's favour here. He gets a chance to study Casadei, who comes through turn 6, bit of a bobble on, but he comes through it safely. So now it's Ferrari's turn to study Casadei. Granado waiting to pick up pieces if there are any scraps left for him. He's 3rd. Varga is a distant 4th now. I'd say that's 0.3 of a second, just the drift of the podium. He's got Garzo climbing all over him as they drop down the hill. Ferrari didn't want to wait at all. He didn't want to have a look at Casadei into the final couple of corners. He's leading it now through turn 9 and into turn 10. Ferrari's got that thing absolutely hooked up and singing and dancing perfectly through that final sector, and he leads across the line to start the last lap, and it is neck and neck. Look at Casadei. He's looking to try and come through up into the Niki Lauda corner. Yes, he does. Someone's gone. It's Granado. Eric Granado hopes for that first victory in 2025 have ended at turn 1 on the last lap. Head to head between the 11 and the 40. Hold your breath. Oh, dearie me. Front wheel, rear wheel, bouncing and skittering all over the place. Ferrari leads up to turn 3, and Tibor Erik Varga is in a podium position here.
Yeah, he's got back past Garzo, who made a move down at turn 9, and Casadei comes so close to tailgating Matteo Ferrari up into turn number 3. It has all been kicking off at the end of this second Moto E race of the day. Casadei, will he have a look down into turn 4? I think it's more likely in the last part of the lap.
This is where Ferrari was wide last time around, but I think he's in very deep again. Is he in too deep? Yes, he is. And Varga's followed him in, and Casadei has pushed his way through. So Casadei and Ferrari swap places again, and this is up towards turn 6 now. We are literally a sector or so away from home. Neil, who's it going to be?
Oh, Casadei was in hot there. That's obviously where he came a cropper earlier today, but he just about keeps it. Rubber side down coming into turn number 7. You can see Garzo is all over Varga for that fight for 3rd, but Ferrari surely is going to have a ton up at turn number 9.
Depending on how much Ferrari wants this, Varga could win this if it all goes wrong to turn 9 and the Ockenring corner. It doesn't even get that far because Ferrari has come back through. We know Matteo Casadei will have a lunge if he's close enough, but he isn't, and it is looking like the number 11 is going to double up in Austria. We have locked horns at the Red Bull Ring, and it goes to Matteo Ferrari ahead of Casadei, and it is Hector Garzo who denies Tibor Eric Varga that first podium in third. Varga fourth, Balder takes fifth, Zacconi, Gutierrez, Spinelli, Torres and Mantovani completing the top 10. Zacconi has a long lap penalty to take for exceeding track limits, so that will dock him a couple of positions, but as quick as that, Moto E Race 2 delivers another classic, and this time Matteo Ferrari, through all the trials and tribulations of the opening 2 rounds, gets a perfect point score, and you can hear the crowd's appreciation for that tier. Round 3 in Austria in the history books, and Matteo Ferrari has arrived into title contention.
Yeah, I'm so glad the rain stayed away, because what we got there was a real classic Moto E humdinger of a race. Race 1, I think it's fair to say, for victory anyway, was a little bit of a letdown. We had a good battle for second, but that was absolutely what we wanted. Ferrari going toe-to-toe with Casadei and Granado as well. And what a great last lap that was from Matteo Ferrari. Kept it cool and kept it incredibly in line coming through turn number 9. Held his line, didn't go too wide, and opened the door for Casadei into turn 10.
That is where Ferrari was so strong throughout that race. Nearly made his pass back through into P2 on Garzo there. He was very strong into the right-handers, was Matteo Ferrari, apart from turn 4 where he was wide 2 laps running, but that didn't seem to put him off. That seemed to give him that just that target fixation in the last sector that some riders do need. We know Matteo Ferrari likes to have that little reference point further up the road, so he has got a little bit of something to aim at going into the last couple of corners. It's Ferrari from Casadei, and we have a look at this rider here, the number 1 of Hector Garzo. Double podium. I think he can say that is a very solid result.
Yeah, that is a very solid weekend, isn't it, for Hector Garzo, reapproaching his best levels from last year. We just have confirmation on the timing screens that Zacconi is given a 3-second penalty because he didn't have sufficient time to complete his long lap at the end of that race. That sees him drop all the way down to 10th, which is fairly significant for the championship, because on a weekend when Andrea Mantovani and Zacconi, the top 2 in the championship, haven't really been at the races, the likes of Ferrari, Casadei and Garzo have closed back in.
You can just see that moment for Granada. Had a little bobble on the front end. There was no saving that. This is later on in that lap. Look how close it is. People might not necessarily watch Moto E. It is at the end of the day. But why wouldn't you after watching this? Absolutely brilliant, head-to-head. I must say, when Ferrari came through there, I did think Casadei would have a big lunge up the inside. The problem is, Casadei crashed earlier. He had to bring home points, Neil. Yeah,
he certainly did, and I'm very impressed that Hector Garzo managed to keep it on the racetrack after that fully committed move on Varga at turn number 9. He was in there hot. He was asking a serious amount from that front Michelin tyre. And Garzo coming home for his second podium of the day, his second podium of the season as well. But this day and this weekend belongs to pole sitter and double race winner Matteo Ferrari.
Tell you what, he'll have lost about 5 years. He was looking old, wasn't he, in the opening couple of rounds? He was looking a little bit stressed. It wasn't working for him, but in the end it has paid dividends, that perseverance and double win here at the Red Bull Ring. Let's just talk about, if we can, Tibor Eric Varga, because that 4th place, it is his career best result, so close to the podium. We are in Hungary in a few days' time at the Balaton Park circuit for the very first time. The first time MotoGP as a paddock has been in Hungary for 33 years, and to say that will have added a few ticket sales onto the first ever round in Balaton Park would be putting it lightly. Great ride from the 47.
Yeah, super stuff. Coming into this weekend, his previous best in the Moto E category was a 10th place, so for him to come away with the 7th, with the 6th and with the 4th, shows that he really is finding his feet at this level. And yeah, as you say, home round next weekend. The home fans, the Hungarian fans, surely will be out in their thousands to cheer a local rider haven't been too much to shout about for the country of Hungary in Grand Prix racing since Gabor Tolmashi back, what, 20 years ago or so?
Yeah, 2007 125cc world champion, and I'm sure Tolmashi will be on site. He is a real Hungarian sporting legend, so I'm sure that if he was at the World Superbikes a few weeks ago, he will come to MotoGP. I've just realised, Neil, my predictions, they've come up trumps. That must be the first time, I think, ever.
Time to put some money on the lottery numbers later.
I ain't got any money. No, I was going to borrow some of yours if you don't mind. As we wait for the interviews, you could see that Elliot York has not needed to put his jacket on because the rain thankfully has held off for the time being. We do have a Red Bull Rookies race though coming up after this, and you can stay tuned for that wherever you get your Red Bull Rookies action, and let's see what the weather brings for that one. But Moto E done and dusted here at round 3. Lots to celebrate, particularly if you are Matteo Ferrari. But we're going to come to him a little bit later, because first up it is P3 and a second podium of the day for your reigning world champion, Hector Garzo. Good job, Hector.
Hector, a double podium here on Saturday. You must be pleased with that. Talk us through that battle, and that pretty much cost you the win, didn't it? But I'm sure you're happy with a double podium.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really happy because, well, as you say, double podium for sure. This is the way to stay on the top of Moto E. Finally, I really thought that after the race 1 I got more speed. I think I show it now. Really much battle, I think. We need to see something after the race review, but I think I could win it. Many touches, many movement. I knew I had the speed, but well, this is racing, no? It is what it is, and we will try to manage it and try to keep this pace.
Good job, Hector.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's a podium, but he's not happy with it, and I think we're about to see why. He was nudged off, and this was by Matteo Ferrari up at turn 1.
It was, but it's such a tight turn, and I mean, yeah, it's a clean move. Ferrari isn't out of control.
No.
Ferrari makes the apex perfectly well, and unfortunately it's just the nature of turn 1 here at the Red Bull Ring, so I really can't see any issue with that. I can understand why he's a little bit sore, because it maybe cost him a victory. One man who might not be sore though is Mattia Casadei. He was second, a great ride, and he's with L.
Mattia, great ride to P2, important after that crash in race 1, and a fantastic battle for that P1 and P2. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, quite good. We start again after the break with the second place, and now we have all to improve it in the last races. And we have the speed to do it, but in some race we miss something and I do a mistake. I don't know why, but there is a lot of race in front of us, and I know that we can do a very good job, and we tried.
Well done, Mattia.
Thank you.
P2, the victory was in his hands earlier on lap 1 in race 1. So in the end, it is a successful weekend if you look at the performance, but in terms of results, another one that goes begging for the number 40.
Yeah, he will be very frustrated. He could certainly be sitting a lot higher up in the championship had it not been for his own mistakes. But looking at the championship on our screens, I do see that 8 riders are covered by 35 points going into round 4 of the season. One of them being this rider here. Double victory, pole position, a perfect weekend for Matteo Ferrari, and he's in Parc Fermé with L.
Matteo, the perfect weekend, pole, P1 in race 1, P1 in race 2, and a fantastic fight as well. Just talk us through your emotions and how you're feeling.
Yeah, you know, for a rider it's better race 1 because you have a little bit of gap, but in Moto E is always like this because all the riders are very fast. I want to thank you to Mattia and Hector because it was a really great fight, a lot of respect, so I enjoy a lot. I did two mistakes in turn 4. I went a little bit wide, but I recovered. I did a fantastic T4. So nothing. I want to thanks to my team, to all my family, my sponsor. It's an incredible weekend for me after a long time, but I want to continue in this way.
Top job, well done.
Hello, ciao.
Ciao indeed. Top job for Matteo Ferrari. This is how he did it.
Yeah, this was the race-winning move. 2 corners from the checkered flag. We thought he might have gone in slightly hot, but as you can see, not a hint of it, and had the perfect line into turn 10. So much so that Casadei just thought the better of risking it all. He was right out on the curbs, but Ferrari caps a perfect weekend here in Austria to really get himself back into the championship fight and head to Hungary with properly with wind in his sails. So see if he can build on this momentum that he's got so far this weekend.
He moves into 6th in the championship standings as well on 65 points. He is now within a race wins tally of Andrea Mantovani, your championship leader, who still somehow has a 13-point lead after what has been a disastrous weekend. If you look at it, if you look at the weekend in perspective on the shadows of Assen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure if you told Andrea Mantovani that he would come away from Austria with an 8th and 9th position, yet still maintain a pretty strong lead in the championship. In fact, maintain his 13-point lead, he would, well, he wouldn't have believed you, I don't think, Kiko.
I don't think so. Most people don't know whatever I say anyway. So Mantovani is your championship leader on 89. Zacconi 13 back, so that's exactly the same as it was. Balder is the impressive one, moves up into 3rd and pushes Jordi Torres back to 4th. Casadei is in 5th, and then Ferrari 1 point further back, 24 points covering the top 6. This could go a lot of ways yet. Hector Garzo 7th, Spinelli tied on points with Garzo, your reigning champion, is in 8th place, and as you correctly say, 35 points covering your top 8. There's only 40 points, I think, covering the top 9. Gutierrez is the next one. The top 10 here, it's tight in Moto E. The podium ceremony is underway. Hector Garza with a face like thunder to match the weather conditions here at the Red Bull Ring. Then it is Mattia Casadei with a solid 2nd, but it is a win, and a fine win, a 2nd win, a double here at the Red Bull Ring from Matteo Ferrari. Do you think he'd have expected that coming off the back of a really tricky opening couple of rounds? I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Came here with 5th and 12th position and 2 DNFs in his previous 4 races as Luca Boscolo Zamello hands the victory trophy to Matteo Ferrari for the perfect weekend. Pole and 2 victories.
I think even for our TV direction, the national anthem came in a bit quick there, but that was, of course, the Italian national anthem. Matteo Ferrari with reason to celebrate. It is another podium for Mattia Casadei, and Hector Garza cracks a smile in the end, but obviously he's not happy with Matteo Ferrari's what seemed like a normal pass up at turn 1.
Yeah, he's putting a brave expression on it, and a well-deserved slug from the Prosecco bottles from all 3 riders. They certainly have earned that after a brilliant day of racing here in Austria.
Ferrari, Casadei and Garzo 1, 2 and 3. Tibor Eric Varga half a second from victory in 4th. Balder 5th. Gutierrez, Spinelli, Torres, championship leader Andrea Mantovani still inside the top 10 ahead of Zacconi, who rounds it out. Hossiuk for Romania 11th, Finello 12th, Bernardi, Maria Herrera with her only points of the weekend in 14th, Fusco taking 15th. Occhi just missing out by 2.2 seconds. Zanoni did recover from his chicane escapades on the opening lap. He completes the field. Eric Granado not seeing the checkered flag. It will change eventually, and it has done now, and this should be your riders' standings. Mantovani maintains that 13-point lead, as we said earlier. Baldassarre moves up, Torres goes down, Casadei completes that top 5. But what a massive haul of points. Matteo Ferrari only had 15 coming into this. He leads with 65. A double victory, propelling him to within a race win's worth of points of Mantovani. Tibor Eric Varga, a massive weekend for him. He moves up 2 places and into 11th place. Granado still 13th, dropping down down a couple of spots because of that race to 4. But 19 point scoring finishers in Moto E so far this year. Well, the constructors' standings is fairly obvious. Ducati are top of that, but not with 25 points. Team standings, and we've got it this time. So we had a little bit of a diversion there to Ducati, but it is Dynavolt Intec GP who lead with a 6-point advantage over the Power Electronics Aspar team. The Clint Forward factory team have dropped down a little bit, and that's because Dynavolt's podiums, courtesy of Hector Garzo, propel them into P1. The LCR E team and the Uber Cloud Moto E team completing the top 5. And that is it. Moto E is back in action in Hungary in just a few days' time, and you can join us trackside for that. But for myself, Kiko Charles, Neil Morrison alongside me, Elliot York in pit lane somewhere, trying and pretending to work. We will be back then. Enjoy the rest of the Bwin Grand Prix of Austria weekend. Goodbye.